Hey friends, it's your girl Amber, your favorite realtor here in Cambridge and Somerville. And I am here with Mary, and she is working with one of the Mass Save partners, one of the largest in Massachusetts. And I am going to let her explain the program to you.
Yeah, so Mass Save is a state-mandated program. It's run by the utility company, so National Grid, Eversource, and Cape Light. Mostly National Grid and Eversource are the big ones you might be familiar with, especially in the Cambridge and Somerville area. And most people that pay a National Grid or Eversource bill actually pay into the Mass Save program. If you ever look at your utility bill, especially the electric one, there's usually a breakdown. It says energy efficiency charge. It's a small percent of your bill for that month. That goes towards the Mass Save program. That's how they get the vast majority of their funding.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. And so by
So
paying,
you're already paying for it.
yeah, so by paying into the program, you unlock all sorts of things through Mass Save. One of which is, if you qualify, you're eligible to have a no-cost home energy assessment, where someone comes out, they do a bunch of things around the house. They test the heating systems for safety and efficiency, which is a very important thing. A lot of people have no idea what carbon monoxide levels their heating systems have, if the exhaust is getting out of the house, or how old they are. And they also take a look around the house for insulation opportunity and other ways that you might be able to save energy, which will help reduce your electric and heating costs. It'll help you be more comfortable in the house. Through that, they're also able to make recommendations through the program. Mass Save for insulation projects covers about anywhere up to 75, sometimes up to 100% of any insulation costs in a house.
I've definitely had clients that had their homes insulated for free.
Yeah, it depends on what's needed in the house and what the project is, but Mass Save tends to cover a large portion of it. Having the assessment also unlocks a lot of the Mass Save rebates. Right now there's a big push towards getting everyone towards heat pumps for their heating system. So they're offering high rebates for people switching over to heat pumps. It also unlocks something called the heat loan, which is a up to 7-year loan with 0 interest for things like if you were getting heat pumps, if you were getting heating systems, certain other specific home improvement type projects that people can take advantage of. The most common part of the Mass Save program tends to deal with units, buildings that are 1 to 4 units. Both owners and renters can have the assessment done.
I didn't know that renters could.
Renters
so that's
can
good
have
to know.
renters can have the assessment done. It's very useful to have the heating system tested at the very least. During the audit, they're also able to leave behind some what we call instant savings measures. So things like lower water savers, so shower heads, things like that, power saving, energy strips.
And so you give those for free?
Those are part of the no-cost assessment. Any of the old, especially the old Mercury thermostats, we can usually swap out with programables as long as it's a compatible type. But it's a great
save
program.
energy and save resources by at least having a programmable thermostat. That's one of the things we always recommend.
Yeah, and it also at the very least will let you know like what's going on in the house, especially from an insulation perspective, which can make a huge impact on your utility costs and your comfort in the house. If you have rooms that are really cold for some reason, the heating system doesn't get up to temp or doesn't stay at temp, it could very well be an insulation issue. Massachusetts has some of the oldest houses in the country. So
the last house that I sold was from 1873, which is not even the oldest one I've worked on.
No, it's not. And it didn't become building code for houses to have insulation in their walls until around 1970. So there's a good chance if you're in an older house, you might not have any insulation. And you're essentially kind of living in a paper cup as well, as opposed to a nice thermos is how I like to equate it.
That's a great analogy. Great analogy.
Yeah, it helps both in the summer and in the winter, just keeping whatever temperature you want inside where it should be.
Good point.
But yeah, renters can have the assessments done. If they want to move forward with any insulation work, the landlord has to sign off on it. But they can at least have the assessment done and just become more aware of what's going on in your house.
That's awesome. And then do you have information about the windows? Because I know you can get a rebate.
So You have to have an assessment, and during the assessment, one of the things that the auditor should be looking for is seeing if you have any single pane windows in the house. If you have single pane windows in the house, Mass Save does offer a small rebate if you go up to either double pane or triple pane, as long as it's energy efficient. And they actually changed that recently. It used to be you had to go up to triple pane, but now if you go up to double, it's all right. But that's something where the auditor kind of marks off one of the paperwork on the paperwork that they fill out saying you had single pane, but it just has to be noted during that. I'm not sure what the exact number on the rebates are because they're constantly changing. Recently there was a large change on some of the heating system rebates that they did because they're trying to move away from gas and oil, so fueled systems, and more towards heat pumps, so they're pushing more of the rebates towards the heat pumps.
Gotcha. This was super helpful. Is there
no
anything else
problem.
you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I'd always recommend people to, at the very least, look into it and at least have an assessment. You're eligible to have an assessment every 2 years.
Okay,
So if
so-
you've already had one, maybe you didn't do any installation work, maybe you had it 10 years ago, a lot of the building code standards have changed over time, so you might be eligible for even more.
Awesome. Well, I will put information in the link below to sign up for a free home assessment. And what do you have there on your sign?
Yeah, so this just talks about, reminding, does your building have 1 to 4 units? You can at least look into having an assessment done, seeing if you can save money on your utility bills, be more comfortable in the house. And it's for homeowners and renters.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
This
no
was
problem.
really helpful. All right, guys. Reach out with any questions. Love you guys. Bye.